Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Prosperity and Health Alliance Monday night webinar. I'm going to be your host this evening, Creel Hutchinson. My fellow compadres, Wade Lightheart, is on the move, headed to Okinawa for our convention, and Siha Top is probably at 30,000 feet, miles in the air, flying around to his next destination, so they pass along their best wishes. We were going to have Wade presenting a specific topic. That's going to be reserved for next week or maybe the week after, depending on how convention goes and timing and hosting the webinar next week. So tonight, on special request, over the last 12 months, we've heard lots of questions from the field in regards to turmeric and Ukon. So I want to cover both the health and business opportunity that is presented with this. What you're going to learn tonight in the show is why our turmeric product is superior to almost everything else on the marketplace, if not the best. Why it is ideal to mix it into your business growth right from day one. The advantages of having it in certain desirable locations in your structure. How to present it to other people, how to ask the basic questions that you'll get in the field, why is it different, why does it cost this, how does it compare to others. You're going to receive all that information this evening. So please sit back, take some good notes, and join us for the ride. So thank you for being here. Turmeric, also known as Ukon, or Ukoni, as some like to say, the wonder herb and supplement. Here is a review of the key products that Enagic has to offer. As we know, we have our water systems, the SD501 White, the SD501 Platinum, and then our brand new Key 8 that's been out for a couple of years. Most people will choose a water system. And while you're educating and building your relationship with your customer, client, friend, new business partner, you're also going to introduce all three of the main products that Enagic has to offer. So we have our Anaspa system and Ukon. So we're just going to do a little basic overview before we go deeper into Ukon. K8 filters the tap water out, ionizes, recharges the water, hydrogen, molecular hydrogen-rich antioxidants. It's alkalized and it creates superior hydration. Here's the bullet points that you want to get across to the people you're speaking to. It makes 7 waters from a range of 2.5, a medical grade disinfectant, all the way up to an 11.5. Very alkaline, has the ability to emulsify oil, a great cleaner, removes pesticides, herbicides, and fungicides. Removes chemicals from our bodies, foods, and homes, and it can be purchased for roughly $5,000 Canadian. The price will change in different marketplaces, or you can finance it for about $120 a month. That's where most people get drawn into our program, through the water system and the water technology, so we want to really educate them on that. Moving along, it becomes apparent that with water being such a crucial issue, we want to not be bathing in chlorinated water. So the Anaspa home system comes into effect. Filters the water, removes chlorine and chemicals. It's got high-powered magnets in the base. When the water runs over the magnets, it breaks the water molecules down so it becomes smaller water. This smaller water then runs through a therapeutic, activating a mineral core, little rocks. It picks up a slight negative charge. It also picks up the minerals associated with these rocks, creating a natural hot spring effect. Best way I could describe it, if you've ever been to a hot spring and you feel silky smooth on the skin, and that's the Anaspa experience. You literally have a home bathing hot spring effect, more moisturizing and nourishing for the skin. If you're buying in a business sense, or it's the first product you're buying from the company, it'd be $2,400. If you're currently a member, meaning you've already purchased a product, you can get it for $1,660 at the member's discount, and you can, of course, finance this for $35 to $65 a month. Our third main product, turmeric, Ukon DD program. Here's some of the bullet points, and we're going to investigate this a little deeper this evening. 100% organic product. And it's known as the queen of all spices. It's an antioxidant, antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal, anti-carcinogenic, anti-mutationogenic, but is probably best known for its anti-inflammatory properties. Our supplement also contains a wide range of vitamins, minerals, and oils, which has huge benefits we'll cover. And it has a patented capsule, which you can increase the absorbability up to 98%, which is going to be the key reason why our turmeric outperforms everything else in the marketplace. extensively used in the pharmaceutical industry. That's the turmeric itself. And you can purchase it for about $650. That will be different in different markets around the world with taxes and so forth. A 4-month supply, or it's $225 your first month, and then you pay 3 payments of $155, $155, $155. So many people will start with one product, add another, and then add another. And other people will make a decision right from day one, either from a health point of view to get the full health package, power, performance, and protection, or a full entrepreneurial startup package, which will be the exact same, which will have many benefits, which I will explain shortly. So moving into turmeric. Why turmeric? It has 5,600 peer-reviewed and published biochemical studies. There's 600 reasons turmeric may be the most important herb. And the reason I put these up, if you were to press these links, it's a hyperlink and you will actually go to the areas of these studies. So we know without a doubt turmeric is a superior plant with highly medicinal, scientifically proven benefits. Right? In a 5-year-long study, research project on this sacred plant, was revealed 600 potential preventative and therapeutic applications, as well as 175 distinct beneficial psychological effects. Clearly, this plant has a lot to offer humanity, right? I'm just going to cover some of the bullet points here. Destroying multi-drug resistant cancers, destroying cancer stem cells, protecting against radiation-induced damage, reducing unhealthy levels of inflammation, protecting against heavy metal toxicity, and preventing and reversing Alzheimer's disease-associated pathologies. Once again, you will have access to this PowerPoint, and clicking on these highlighted blue links will take you directly to those studies. So there is a reason why in the pharmaceutical industry today, extensively for the last 25 years, this turmeric has been studied in depth. Curcumin is the main ingredient within turmeric that provides most of these therapeutic benefits. So let's take a look at curcumin versus medication. Anti-inflammatory drugs. A 2004 study published in the journal found that curcumin, as well as resveratrol, were effective alternatives to the following drugs: aspirin, ibuprofen, Seladak. You see the list there. It goes on and on. Because of its anti-inflammatory and anti-proliferation activity against tumoring cells. What does that mean? It keeps inflammation down and it keeps cells from mutating, which is exactly what we want to have occurring in the body, right? So curcumin has so many benefits in this region. Here's what it looks like, a very bright yellow, and of course you can find the whole root in stores and a wide range of different supplements available on anywhere from Amazon to your local health food store. Right? We have taken the turmeric and made it into the Ukon DD. Here's why our turmeric is superior and will outperform 99% of turmeric products on the marketplace. I would say 100, but I can't guarantee that. But it is by far in the top shelf of the category. So here's the main advantages. The turmeric is grown in Okinawa. For those that don't know, Okinawa is well studied to be one of the most nutritionally rich soil and bioregions on the planet. For whatever reasons, over centuries and centuries, the soil fertility there is extremely high. It also has an amazing climate, so it's basically perfect for growing turmeric. The fertile and well-drained soil, the land, we have lots of access to great water, and currently we have 107 contracted farmers that deal extensively and exclusively with Kangen Ukon for their farms. Here's a little picture. Doesn't that look amazing? Looks like a very beautiful place. They also use this very interesting organic fertilizer. Now, my background's also in organic growing and farming. I've been interested in that for 20 years. And the best fertilizers, which are usually enzyme-related, comes in liquids, you can activate soil, have been coming out of Japan for decades. And so this didn't surprise me that Enagic is using particular specialized fertilizers that the EM Bakashi and is used by mixing special bacteria which accelerates the growth of the plant, rice bran, charcoal, and fish meal. Essentially, they're feeding the soil so that the soil can produce higher quality products. You're not getting in this in your typical Ukon supplement or turmeric supplement when you walk into Whole Foods. There is not this level of care and attention going into this, and really the therapeutic benefits are going to be far less, and we'll get a little bit further into that. Here's what comes into our Ukon. We have the spring and fall turmeric strains. So not only did they identify one, but two, which were very complementary, that would add to the value of the overall Ukon. The fall turmeric is highly rich in curcumin, which is the main anti-inflammatory medicinal effect. And then their spring or wild turmeric has a rich essential of oils and minerals. So we put these two together for a really nice symbiotic formulation. Here's the key to the Ukon. 100% organic. And because it is labeled in Japan, which has far more stringent labeling, we can actually guarantee you that it's 100% organic versus anything that is labeled here in North America does not have the same level of policing or standards that you don't actually have to tell the truth of what's on the label, and you don't have to back that up. So a lot of the things that are being deemed as organic or labeled in a certain way, when you actually get down to it, it's very misleading. So we can guarantee this is 100% organic. We have a superior soil and growing conditions, which will add to the health of the plant, which will then also increase its therapeutic benefits. We mix spring and autumn turmeric into Ukon, so the oil and the curcumin mixture. It is rinsed and cleaned in the 2.5 medical grade disinfected strong acidic Kangen water, which will guarantee it doesn't have any weird stuff on it. And then 11.5 to make sure it's super clean. This rinsing process is back and forth within the facilities, which are very close to the farmers. So this is all done basically at ground level, so that we're really producing the cleanest, highest quality Ukon. And then that gets dried in their factory there and gets processed. And one of the unique things about our Ukon is the patented capsule, which increases the absorbability. So this is a vegan product. Ukon is entirely a vegan product. But the capsule itself is like a gel capsule, and we're able then to produce a liquid turmeric form with the oils that will sit inside of it. And because of its patented capsule, we can guarantee the potency of the turmeric is going to be very high. It's essentially fresh. Whereas most supplements, and this is very well known, you can do a Google search on this, most supplements that you will get at Costco, Whole Foods would be better, but the Whole Foods and your basic health food store or large, wall brands and so forth, the absorbability, the freshness is actually at about 8 to 12%. So 90% of the supplements that people are purchasing are already oxidized. When they were packaged, there was therapeutic benefits, but because of the exposure to air, it's kind of like Kangen water. The longer it sits, the less effective it is. The same with supplements. When there's created and it's in the shelf life, it's transported around the world. It goes through big X-ray machines, and you start to find that the capsules are losing potency very quickly. And if they come in hard tablets, virtually impossible for the body to digest and utilize very much of it. So this is what most people are buying turmeric for $15, at your wall brands, and expecting that it's the same as what we have to offer. It's not even close, right? And as a result, they probably don't notice any results, right? And our Ukon also has additional ingredients to enhance the health. So let's go over this a little bit. We have the spring Ukon, which has all these minerals, calcium, potassium, magnesium, iron, zinc, selenium, and so forth. The autumn Ukon powder contains minerals and high amounts of curcumin, which is the massive antioxidant, in which there's a ton of information on PubMed.com, and it helps the cells and also DNA. We also put olive oil and imperial oil and flaxseed oil in. Oil feeds the brain, and it also allows these ingredients to pass over the brain barrier so that the oil becomes a bit of a delivery system so that you're actually able to absorb more of it. We have tocacrin. I totally pronounced that wrong, but you guys can read it. Some type of vitamin E family. I remember that Antonita did a fabulous presentation which we have listed on our YouTube site for the Prosperity Health Alliance. So if you wanted to get fully into the health side, you can go there and she'll go deeper into that. All these other benefits, the spring Ukon with the oil, the turmeric, camphor, and then we have niacin, which helps promote healthy skin and healthy liver function, and evening primrose oil to maintain cholesterol and blood sugar levels. Right? So how I like to explain this to people is most people have heard of the benefits of turmeric, and most people have also heard of the benefits of eating high-quality oils. Then we mix this all together, and we add in some vitamin Bs and niacin, folic acid, and essentially what you have is a turmeric-rich supplement that is also a multivitamin. So it will replace different multivitamins and oil supplements that people are already taking. So you're kind of getting 3-in-1, the oils, the vitamin Bs, and the turmeric, all in this high-potency patented capsule form. Here's a little picture. It shows you a little bit more of the details. Let's talk about the capsule. The packaging, which you may have noticed, at times when you first receive it, you're like, oh wow, why are we getting so much packaging with our turmeric? Because they're these small little capsules. The reason we do it this way, or Enagic does it this way, is the capsule itself will guarantee the potency and the absorbability. So you're getting a very fresh product inside each one of those capsules. Each one of those capsules is then individually packaged in an airtight sealed capsule. So once again, guarantee the potency. Then those supplement containers are packaged inside a silver, almost like aluminum foil bag, and you get 2 of those inside each box, and then you get 10 of those inside one box, which is a 4-month supply. Those aluminum type packaging guarantees that when the product went through customs and went through the shipping lines to move across the planet, and they go through these massive X-ray machines, which will damage living things, that we are able to protect our turmeric product and keep its superior medicinal benefits rather than through radiation. Obviously, this is something that's going to be very important, and most people do not know about this, but this is one of the reasons that extra step of care and delivery allows the turmeric that you're going to be offering to your family and friends to be the highest superior out there on the marketplace, right? And here's the patent number if you want to go a little deeper into this. The packaging repels moisture, prevents oxidization. So that is one of the key reasons why our product costs more, because of the delivery system. Let's go a little bit of a review. 100% organic, queen of all spices. Antioxidant, antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal, anti-carcinogenic, anti-mutationogenic. But it's best known for its anti-inflammatory properties. Wide range of vitamins, minerals, and oils, a patented capsule, which you can get up to 98% absorbability, and extensively used in the pharmaceutical industry. If anyone is currently using turmeric, using our turmeric, they'll get far better, superior results. And if some people are using pharmaceutical prescription, they might look at the research and suggest that using our Ukon DD program would be safer without all the side results or the side effects that can be taken from many pharmaceutical prescriptions, and especially when you start mixing them together. And you've got something that's all organic and delivered right to your door every 4 months. So this is a really great way to present this information to people and tell the story more effectively. So double Kangen power, Kangen water, Kangen Ukon. Now let's jump into a little bit how the money works and the payment. So the single payment, if you're a non-member, meaning you're just buying the Ukon to get into the business, the price will be $660 every 4 months plus tax, and this depends on where you live. Okay? If you're a member, you get a member's discount, which is $80. So if you already own a water system, anyone, or you're renewing your Ukon, so you bought it for the first time full price, whenever you renew it, you'll pay the member's price and get the $80 discount. Now it's $580 plus the taxes. I tell people it's kind of about $650 roughly, and that's in Vancouver where we're paying 12% tax. And you can get a free pickup at your local office or the shipping for $15. Here is the Enagic payment system. So like our water systems, we're able to e-program it, meaning your first payment is approximately $235. This depends on your tax. I've heard anywhere from $225 up to $250. And then your next three payments are $155, $155, $155. Right? Once again, $15 shipping or free pickup at the office. So this is really a cool program, much like what we do for the water systems, is that it actually allows people to participate and get their product right away with putting essentially 25% down. And you also, it will release the commissions in full to anyone in your upline. So unlike the e-program we use for our water systems that only releases us the special point, and you have to wait until the customer pays off the entire e-program, with the Ukon, it's different. When the transaction happens and the person pays their first month, they receive their product and the upline will receive their commissions right away. So that is very generous of the company, and we really appreciate that. Here's the Ukon DD highlights from more of a business sense as you're growing this. If you are a leader and you do not have Ukon, you will not be paid for any of the Ukon sales in your business, and they won't count for sales. So you don't get paid, and they don't count for sales volume. So in order to be on the program, that's the requirement. So pretty straightforward. Ukon DD may be a good way to enter the Enagic business with a $235 investment, initial investment, and a $155 monthly payment. So the barrier to entry is lower if someone is really excited to get started with Enagic, but for whatever reasons can't start with the e-program with the Kangen water machines. This would be a great way to do it. Commissions are based on the Enagic patented 8-point structure. With the Ukon, each point is worth $40. So that means it's 8 times 40, meaning there's $320 paid out on every box of Ukon. So it's roughly about the same percentage, 56%, as the Kangen water ionizers. Ukon also offers you an additional business center. I'm going to move the presentation a little bit more into the strategy that Ukon delivers, because when you understand the strategy and what it can provide you as a serious business builder, you'll realize that you're at a disadvantage not being on the program and not promoting it to at least your business builders, if not to your customers as well. So Ukon offers you an additional business center. Ukon signups counts for one Ukon signup counts for an activation, and every third sale will count as a full unit. The ID is issued, and with annual signup being 3. What does that all mean? Okay, let's start that again. So you have the person who buys, and that they get their ID, they're able to start business right away. But if they were to cancel after one time of ordering, then their business ID and the sale disappears. So it's like it never happened. The commissions got paid out, the Ukon got delivered, but when you look on your genealogy, that sale will be removed from your overall sales volume, and the person will not have an ID in order to conduct future businesses. So what the company is looking to do is they want to have the Ukon purchases equate to the lowest price of one of our systems. So if you were to buy a Level Luke R, $1,480, plus the taxes and everything, maybe you're looking at about $1,700 to $1,800. So the theory from the company is when you buy Ukon 3 times, you're starting to be in that range of financial commitment into the program, which will issue you a full ID, which will be good for years. So you have to buy it 3 times in order for that ID to stick. If you buy it twice and cancel, those 2 sales disappear and the ID disappears. So you really want to be confirmed with your business builders who decide to use the ID to build a downline and make sales underneath them. You want to make sure that they understand they have to order this for 12 months. make a 12-month commitment to the program and to the business to really work it, and it will pay for itself with that effort. But you don't want people jumping out after 4 months because they basically lose the downline that has been created if any sales happen. And I'll show this through a little bit more of a structure coming up. Ukon has potential to be a strong residual income earner. For example, 100 Ukon DD signups can generate 86,000 annual income. So how does that work? Well, as you grow your business, the same customer reorders every 4 months. So you're continuing to get paid every 4 months from that initial transaction. So this builds in the residual income into the business. It also fast tracks your business growth. If you've got, you sell 10 water machines, you sell 10 Ukons. 6 months later, you don't have 20, you now have 30, because the Ukons would have renewed after 4 months. 9 months later, you've renewed twice. So now you have 30 plus the 10, now you're at 40. So this helps you move towards the goal of 6A and the higher ranks faster by definitely promoting Ukon within your business. A few more of the highlights. When we initially got started, I considered Ukon to be insurance for my business. I had multiple business centers that I had purchased through Kangen water machines, but they were not always qualified. So in the beginning, this is going back 4 years, I had to keep making sure that every 90 days I had to go put a sale in one of the positions so that it would be qualified. So this is how it works. You have one account, your top account, and you sell a machine to somebody who decides to be a real business builder. And they're making a sale, let's say 2 sales every month. So for the first 3 months, you're getting paid full commissions. And let's say they're selling K8s. So you would receive $340 off both of their sales for month 1, month 2, and month 3. But because you haven't made a direct sale, on the 4th month, 5th month, and 6th month, the company is going to remove the special point, which is $70 on the K8s, and now you're going to be paid $270 for those sales that happen in month 4, 5, and 6. Still pretty good, though. If you don't make a sale after 6 months, direct sale after 6 months, and you're downline, this person continues to make 2 sales every month, the commissions will go from $270, they'll half it and they'll cut it by 50%, and now you're going to earn $135 off each one of those sales that happens monthly. This will continue from month 7 to month 24, so 2 years. If you don't make a direct sale in 2 years, on the 24th, 25th month, the company is going to remove your commissions and now you're back to 0. This resets the clock the moment you make a direct sale. So at any point you make a direct sale and you're back to making 100% commissions. So this is important to realize that these qualifications do exist. So they're not quotas. You don't have to make a mandatory amount of sales or so forth. This is really encouraging you. There are different terminologies in different companies, but essentially Enagic is encouraging you to continue to be part of their business by making sales rather than riding the efforts of 1 or 2 like strong candidates, strong leaders in your organization. They want to see people really participating in the overall culture and the vision of Mr. Oshiro. So you got to make sales every 90 days. And realistically, making 4 sales a year direct if you're doing the business is a really good quota, personal quota. Most people will try to make 1 sale a month. Right? So moving down here allows you to build in 2 positions at once. It went from being an insurance policy for me to being a huge advantage to build in depth in my organization so that it can actually move to the higher ranks. So, and I'm going to show you in the next slide. The Ukon renewals count for sales in 2 positions when Ukon Center placed below. If you cancel Ukon before a year, the sales are removed from your sales total and the ID position is lost. I've covered that. And here's a quick little note. 6A qualification, which is 101 sales. If you're only allowed to have 30%, which is 30 out of 101 sales to be Ukon, to be qualified there. If you have 50 Ukon and 50 water machine sales, and you make your 101st sale, you are not technically a 6A because your percentage is imbalance. You're only allowed to claim 30% Ukon towards your 6A qualification. And this has become a problem at times. Most people, we're selling more water machines, but you just got to watch your balance as a senior leader and look at for your new 6As to be in your downline, just to make sure the numbers go over their genealogy and make sure the count's right. So here's what I mean by structure. Well, here's what the point system looks like. So once again, it looks like our 8-point system rather than K8, which would be $340. We're dealing with $40. So you can make up to a maximum of $240, which would be 6 times 40. But like I mentioned, the company does pay out 8 points, and that will be a total of 320. The trifecta, or the whole health package, so the entrepreneurial package, people call it different things. And then we've got several videos. You can visit me on my YouTube site. I've got a short video, 6-minute video on how to start up on that, and Wade's done extensively on the Prosperity Health Alliance. So here's a quick review. You purchase the Anaspawn, your top position, your number 1 account. You buy the Ukon, which will be your number 2 account, and then you buy a K8 or an SD501 in a user. This way you get paid the most to start your business on day 1. I'm not going to go into that. We're just going to keep it real easy. So then you're going to use your Ukon, your number 2 position, as the place where you're going to be making your direct sales. On your first 2 sales there, you're not earning 1 point. You're actually earning 1 point in both positions, because the number 1 and number 2 are business centers, so that you're able to get paid 2 paychecks in 2 different areas. So your first 2 sales, you actually are earning 2 points. And on your 3rd sale, which will be a 2A position underneath the Ukon, you'll take 2 points there, add an extra point in the top. So now you're earning 3 out of the 8 potential points, and you've only made 3 sales in the business. Versus if you did it all along the top from your direct position, you would have to wait to your sale number 11 in order to make 3 points. So clearly this is very advantageous, and it moves you faster. But most importantly, you're able to use the Ukon to qualify your top position, so you don't have to worry about making a sale every 90 days, and it gives you a business center that you can use immediately on day 1, and you're building your business in 2 different centers rather than just in 1. Why is that important? Because we want to be thinking how to get to 6A2 from day 1, not 6A, which is 101 sales. You could do 101 sales all along the top. We're thinking 6A2 from day 1, which means help 2 people below you get to 6A as well. Well, because we can have multiple business centers, then those people below you can also be yourself. How does that work? Here is the business structure. So whenever you get to 6A, you get a $3,000 bonus. Whenever you help 2 people below you get to 6A, $6,000 bonus. When you help them become a 6A2-2, you get a $12,000 bonus. And whenever you hit 6A2-3, which is 8 6As along the bottom, it's a $25,000 bonus and a $5,000 minimum payment from the company with 4 qualifications in effect. But generally, if you've made it to that level, you should be easily qualified on all that stuff. Let me show you. You can do this in 1,000 to 1,500 sales, especially with the Ukon in your business. Before Ukon, this would have taken much longer. Right? I want to highlight these 5 stars. These 5 stars can be all of your own personal accounts. So when you get started in the business, the blue star at the top is going to be your number 1 account. Your number 2 account, which is the red star, is going to be your Ukon position. So what we encourage you to do is make about 20 to 50 sales in the red star position, which is attached to the top position, and you'll identify 2 business builders. And then those people will continue to generate sales and momentum in that side. You will then move your business over and you'll buy the second blue star, which will be a water system of some sort. And then I immediately suggest it works best in our compensation plan when you buy a water system and you buy an Ukon right below it. And you can build both of those centers at the same time. Right? And so when you buy your second system and open up your second leg with the second blue star there, I would immediately buy an Ukon, the red star, and then I would start to put my sales in the number one position, the A1, 1A, underneath the second red star. So I'm building in depth. 1 point goes all the way up. So as long as each center is receiving at least 1 point, it counts for a sale, which will move that entire side towards becoming 6A, right? So you eventually will own all 3 positions at the top. So you're maximizing your bonuses, your residual income, and you're utilizing the Ukon accounts to their maximum. So if I was to do it all over again, I would have done this. And I would have been at the -3 level already. Talking to some of the old timers in the business, that it's not uncommon for business leaders to have 2, 3, 4, 5 Ukon accounts. Whereas in this position, ideally, if you're building a super strong business and you're kind of doing a lot yourself, 2 Ukon accounts is all that you would need attached to 2 business centers, which you bought water systems at. So you can see these are the stars. Let's see what I have. The health, wealth, and happiness game. So I hope you've gotten some good value out of this. I hope you learned why our turmeric is more expensive than other stuff on the marketplace, because it's superior in how we grow it, how we package it, its ingredients, how it gets delivered to somebody, and the therapeutic benefits. Personally, myself, I have one traditional Chinese medicine doctor in Vancouver who I introduced the turmeric to. She said that it was comparable in price. She was selling them by the box for $65, so she gets 10 boxes, $650. She was selling it by the box for $65. She said it was comparable in price to the top one that she was using, which was for $60 for a month. So it's right around the same number. And she switched over, started using it, and her response back from her clientele was excellent. And so she continued with the product, but she found it to be superior. So I've also given it to numerous people, and people come back raving about the benefits on a lot of levels. So we're not only claiming through and telling a really powerful story of why we think it's best, the results that we're getting in the field and people's personal testimonials are really driving that cause. That people are just feeling better using this stuff. So that's why it's more expensive. Now I hope you've also seen the advantages of using it inside your business. Whenever you buy a water system, buy a Ukon and start building underneath it, right? Now you've qualified your top account. You're also in the Ukon program, so anyone who buys Ukon in your business, you get paid and you receive a sale. Every 4 months, it will account for another sale and another paycheck will come through. Just imagine growing an organization that is really connected to the Ukon program from day one. So a lot of people will come in with a great 1-2 punch of buying a water system, buying the Ukon, getting started, and you want to make sure to stay on the program for the initial purchase, 2 renewals, which is 3 total, so that's a 12-month. At that point, all the sales will count permanently in your genealogy, and the ID will be kept permanent. So if you decided to stop ordering Ukon, to maybe you wanted to switch something around or buy it somewhere else, what I have found, and I'll give a caveat there, it is best to just keep the organization I showed here. If you grow to this level, canceling the Ukon, which is the red stars, dequalifies the top position. So you got to go back and eventually qualify it anyway. So you might as well just stay on Ukon for life, because it's fully guaranteeing your qualifications, and it's going to be in the most desirable location for you, which will cost you the least long term, right? So that is the review of Ukon. I'm going to turn it over and see if you guys have any questions this evening, and we'll open up the lines. So thank you guys for all jumping on and being with us. Hope you are, my goal, and I know Wade's, is we always want to bring some really great quality to this. So any questions, guys? You want to throw it into the chat window, and I can respond back to it. Here's a quick question from Claire. When we build a trifecta for a new business builder, why not put the K8 under the Ukon? Great question. There's a number of different reasons for this. When you put under the Ukon, yes, you will earn more points, but then you're starting to move into a potential stacking position, and when a new person sees they've got their first sale coming through and they're like, oh great, I'll just put my new sale underneath the K8 because now I can earn 3 points, just not 2 points. So when you show somebody how they can earn even more points, it's very hard to move away from human behavior of wanting to get that. And then they start to build 3 levels deep. And quite quickly, this can duplicate in an organization, and it can create absolute chaos. I had a great leader in Saskatoon do this thing, and he thought he was really supporting his people. It took about 8 months for his entire organization to fall apart. And I could get a little deeper into why that is, but in network marketing, there's this idea of stacking, that you don't want to do it. And when you would put the K8 underneath the Ukon, this would be classic stacking, because the next sale will go underneath the K8, and now all of a sudden you're 4 levels down. And we want to make sure that the upline is getting paid at least 1 point so that everybody's moving up to the new rank. So when you're out of the points, which are still maybe doing all the work, which I know some leaders out there are, it gets a little bit discouraging. You want to at least be in the 8 points, so we don't want to push it too far down. Second reason is when you make the sale in the 1A position, you have to mandatory fill both of those 1A positions. So eventually you're going to come back and put a sale there, right? You have to in order to move into the a new second leg. So you're never going to build in both 1A positions. So really just for simplicity and duplication, making those sales in the 1A position, we're already showing people how to double their income on their third sale to earn 3 points of commission rather than just staying at 2. So I feel like that is a much clearer, more duplicatable, and we know from the results that people are getting in the field, that's what works. So I would stay away from bringing up the idea of putting the K8 underneath the Ukon, because it will have negative results long term. Great. Let's see here. So why would go Anaspot Ukon? Because you would earn more commissions from the K8 being underneath than you would from the K8 in the top position. And so we want to make sure that our new person coming into the business gets the biggest paycheck as they can. So instead of earning $175, they get a $340 check from having the K8 placed underneath. So the Anaspot in the top position is the best way to go. Now, let me just bring this out a little bit, guys, so I can see more of these questions here. There's a bunch. I appreciate you guys throwing those in. Carl, that wasn't clear. When someone has a trifecta, you'll have to explain your question a little bit more. Here's Sean. I was led to believe that I'm able to move my Ukon distributorship to a higher level in the ranks. Absolutely, Sean. So how that works is whenever you cancel your lower rank, say the 1A, and then you move it to, say you become a 5A, and you then renew your Ukon in a 5A position, now you'll be earning 5 points off your Ukon. You'll get 5 times $40 back. But what happens to the position where you initially were, that now becomes a solid business center, and it's not going to be qualified, but your attention has moved somewhere else. I think if you were going to buy and move your Ukon, that to me means you're probably thinking that you're going to use it as your second leg. So just realize that the first position, because you left it now, will be up for qualification. So in 90 days, you're going to miss the special point, 6 months later, and so forth. So you'll have to go back to that position. I would encourage you just leave the Ukon where it is and buy a second Ukon so that you can open up a second leg, or buy a system with an Ukon attached to it. I think it makes more sense in a long-term strategy of building the business. If that's not your end goal and you're just looking to get as much income back from your Ukon purchases, yes, you could cancel your first Ukon after the 12 months, buy it again in a higher position, and get more commissions back. Carl, will they receive 2 commission points for Anaspa and 2 points for the Ukon? Well, that would be no. If someone has a trifecta and they make a sale, and those 2 things are in their 1A position, they're going to be earning 1 point, right? So I think that's pretty clear and obvious. Claire, if the K8 is user only, I would recommend, that's why I say K8 and SD501 as a user account. The company allows you to have 3 business centers when you're a sole proprietor and 5 when you're a corporate entity. So you don't want to utilize one of these business centers if you're not actually going to build a business underneath it. So the K8 SD501 purchase in the trifecta setup, sign it up as a user's account, because you're never going to build both the Ukon and the K8 in a 1A position underneath there. You're going to focus on the Ukon, and then you're going to jump to a higher leg when you open up your second leg. So that's why I recommend user only. Let's see, Tom LeLunc. I have been inactive for 2 years. I am a 3A distributor. What would be the best strategy for moving over to PHA? How would you lay out the business structure? Okay, Tom. They have this special policy by the company. It's called the FAO. And if you've been inactive for 2 years, you can fill out this paperwork. You have to purchase a new product to move organizations. So you could do the Ukon or you could do system. So essentially, you're starting your new business, and you're a 3A, so let's say you had a dozen sales. You're leaving those dozen sales behind, although they will allow you to, you're going to start at 0 sales, but you'll get paid as a 3A from day 1. So you make your first sale, you get 3 points back versus 1 point back. So that's the advantage of doing the FAO. And you want to find somebody that you want to work with inside the PH Alliance that will help you strategically do that. I would say make the mindset like you're starting from day 1. So you already have a water system, but you could come in with 2 products. You may not need to go with the whole trifecta because you've already been in the program for a little bit. So you could look at getting either a loaner machine, the Anaspa, and the Ukon. Position it like I suggested and start making your sales underneath the Ukon so that you're earning double commissions, which would, for you, would be pretty good because there would be 3 points in the top position, 1 point below, so you're earning 4 points. So whoever you're deciding to partner with, that's the person that you should be talking to about strategy and helping with and so forth. So that's my suggestion. Any safety issues or medical disclaimers do you always point out, warn about when initiating anyone on Ukon? Great question. I personally don't, because it's a supplement, and I tell people it's educating people on the benefits. I'm not a doctor, and I don't pretend to be one, but I take supplements all the time, and when I walk into a health food store, people don't stop me on the way out making a disclaimer and all this stuff. I sometimes think we get kind of a little bit too intense about it, and it's just like, I just keep reminding people, hey, it's water. Hey, it's turmeric. That these aren't drugs and they're supplements, so use as recommended on the bottle or on the package. And if people have health issues, because now I formed a relationship with them, that's why I'm recommending the product to them. If I feel that there's they've got compromised health or they're using prescriptions, I'll ask them to go back and talk to their doctor about it. That's what I'll do, rather than making kind of a disclaimer. I'll just be like, hey, oh wow, you're on a lot of stuff. Well, this could replace those things. Why don't you talk to your doctor, and I can send you some information you could present to them so you can have that dialogue. That's where I would be more cautious. but for the average person that I'm dealing with, who usually are pretty like-minded, you know, they're looking at the business and so forth, it's not a stone cold rule that I give a disclaimer with supplements. Sean, maybe if you answer here, so no worries. How many capsules should one take a day? Good question, Danny. Recommended dose is 5 capsules a day. That being said, I've taken anywhere from 3 to 15 a day. And the traditional Chinese doctor I mentioned, she suggests to her clientele to do 3 to 5 a day. She starts them off at 3. They can increase it if they like. If you take 3 a day, then you have a month supply rather than being a 21-day supply, which is 5 a day. So some people's systems are more sensitive than others, so that's the dose. And sometimes when I have extra Ukon lying around, I'll take 10 a day and spread it out 5 in the morning and 5 in the afternoon. People do get energy buzzes, so if you take it in the evening closer to going to bed, the vitamin Bs can keep you elevated a little bit. If you take it right before going to bed and go to sleep, it's usually no problem, and then you've got the anti-inflammatory effects over the evening, which is nice. Okay, Carl, you got another question. When someone has a trifecta on their first sale, they will receive 2 points for all 3 products, meaning 2 points for Anaspa, 2 points for Ukon, and 2 points for K8. That's right. Yes, so if their first sale is to somebody who's buying a trifecta, they make 2 points and all that because it's in essentially a 2A position. They're earning 1 point in the Ukon and 1 point in the top position. So correct. Let's see. Merev, thank you for almost helping me out in Montreal with a friend. I appreciate that. I started with the trifecta and I'm now 4A with my first Ukon distributor sale. Where should I position this new sale for maximum benefit? Good question. I see you got 2 questions. Let's read the second one. I am just starting and feeling comfortable recommending the Ukon to people, so under my 4A leg should be the right spot until I get more knowledge and depth within the Ukon business, right? So here's a really, here's the perfect point in your business where you have to make a decision. So you've done the right thing. We've coached you. You came in with the trifecta. You've made 20 sales underneath your Ukon position. Now, here's what can happen. You made 20 sales, but how many business builders do you have in your organization? Sometimes you make 20 sales and no one has shown up yet. They've mostly been customers or sharers, but they're not growing a business. So if you leave and open up a second leg, the momentum in that first leg disappears, there's nothing happening, and you'll eventually have to go back and build it there. So we recommend stay in the first leg. It might take you to 50 sales to become a 5A in there in order to find 2 leaders that are going to continue to make sales when you leave and focus on building a second leg. So don't be in a hurry to go build a second organization because you want to make sure the first one is actually moving, right? So the temptation is to jump into another leg, you'll add another point and so forth, but that's only going to be short term because you're going to have to come back and rebuild this first leg because you've already made an investment there. You're up to 20 sales, so stay in the first leg until you know you've got business builders that when you leave, that they will continue to make sales and that leg will continue to grow, and then you're going to start focusing on building the second. So if that's the overall theory, then you want to keep your Ukon happening in this first account because it's qualifying the top position, so just keep doing what you're doing. When you decide to move over, I would consider purchasing another system, or you could actually get 2 Ukons. Because they will earn doubly fast commissions for the top position, but then you're qualified in both legs that you're building. More ideal would be buy a system with a second Ukon attached to it, like I showed you in the qualification map, and that will be the best way to build it. I hope that makes more sense. Is there any Enagic policy prohibiting giving starter packs or samples of Ukon to interested prospects? Absolutely not. No, you can, once you've purchased a product, I actually do it all the time. When someone's on the water, I usually give them a 2 to 3 week supply of the Ukon so that they can explore that with some information. So definitely you can give like small samples or you can give bigger samples. You see how the packaging works, Noel. So you'll see that, you know, do you want to give them for a day or a week or 3 weeks? It's totally possible. Mary-Eve, also, do we have a minimum time trial? We recommend 2 people so they can really feel it. My new distributors were asking if they can cancel after 4 months. I suggested to keep it in for 8 months minimum. Good question. I let people know if they're new distributors, then this is a business conversation. And the business conversation is you're using this to double your income. So have you decided to stop doubling your income and decided to stop building a business? And if so, have you found something else to make the type of income that you can make here? Please show me. So that's the conversation. When distributors start to be like, oh, complaining about the price, or they're not going to do it, or they're not feeling it, I bring them back to the reason they got involved, which is like, hey, you're a distributor, you want to make a business here. So let's talk about the business. For a customer, it's a different situation. A customer can choose to do 4 months, do 8 months, do 12 months. I encourage people to, you know, a 4-month supply, if people are using it correctly, people should see results. You know? Unless they're the, you know, 20% of the population that doesn't really notice anything, which happens because we see those people drink the water and nothing happens for them, and they think it doesn't work, and we realize it's totally working, it's just not working so that they can see it and it's obvious to them. So the same thing with the Ukon. I feel like 4 months is plenty of time to get some results. And I just encourage you, if it's a distributor, let's talk about the business and try to help them see that having this in their business is more profitable for them long term. Mary-Eve, thank you so much. I think I covered everybody's questions there, and we're moving towards the top of the hour. So Cam, I did see that you put in that for whatever reasons you were having audio issues. It scared me for a moment. Maybe I thought that I was muted for everybody, but it appears like everyone else heard me and it's just you. So any last questions, guys? Throw them in the chat box. I hope that has been helpful. Kangen water, Kangen Ukon. It's a great 1-2 combination. The Anaspa system, Deluxe, it's wonderful to have. You bring them all together. We've got a really great you know, customer package and entrepreneurial package. I hope you've seen the value of what the intricacy, well, maybe I should say the nuances of how having an Ukon attached to a water system position inside your business can be a very effective and profitable long-term for you. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up. I want to give a big shout out to Kimberly, who is always here with us, supporting us in the back and growing a great business. I want to thank you guys all for joining us this evening. If you're checking out the review, the recording on our YouTube site, you know, thank you for doing that. We love to hear comments. We do check all that stuff. And we look forward to being of service for you the rest of 2017. We have the convention starting next week. I'm going to be going to India for the next 3 weeks, so I'm not going to be around. It'll probably be a month before I host a webinar. Wade's going to be at convention. I have a feeling next Monday may not be happening. Please check your emails this week. Wade will make a final decision once he gets set up in Japan. But if it doesn't happen next week, it will happen the week after, which will be an awesome review of all the highlights from convention this year. So I want to wish you all a wonderful evening. Thank you for your continued support, and the best health, wealth, and happiness to you and your family. Have a great night, everybody. Bye-bye.